Okay, I'm out here with the 318 project. In real time, the motor is still sitting there. The starter's here, waiting to put that in someday. This is the deck for it. Actually, let me measure this deck to see which one is. Okay, it looks like the deck measures about 50 inch. Here's the numbers on it. Serial number, but it doesn't have a model number, which is kind of funny. So what I noticed just on a quick look around is, to me, this pulley looks a little tipping down that way for some reason, the whole thing. Missing a gauge wheel here, or anti-scalp wheel. Missing an anti-scalp wheel there. That one's at least got the bracket for the wheel to go on. This one's not there. I have a box of parts. I'll have to look in there and see what's there. The belt looks like it's probably pretty worn out. It's in the groove pretty deep, so I imagine it's probably pretty much worn out. The other thing I notice is on this idler, it's riding all the way up to the top of the idler. So I think, oh yeah, we got a ton of play. Something's worn pretty badly here. So we're gonna have to figure that out, because we don't want that riding. The second it starts hitting that top ridge, it'll just annihilate itself and probably keep throwing the belt. This one may have had the power flow bagger or something on there. It has that double stack pulley on the side. It may have had the yeah, I think they call it a power flow on John Deere. What else do we notice on this? No chute, we don't care about that so much. This thing's bent in a little, no big deal. The rest of it looks all here. Let's flip it upside down and see what we have. Okay, here's the bottom of the deck. Interesting, it has like a roller on the bottom side. I've never seen one like that before. Blades are extremely dull, but looks like there's still some meat there before you get to the, I don't like to go too far to the crook there. Got some yard netting wrapped around that one. Probably just needs a good pressure wash down here, and then we'll see about what else this needs. As I was taking the belt off right now to look at how much play is in here, I noticed that this is basically grinding the spring right now. So that spring's not going to last. The spring looks like one of the coils is kind of opened up a little bit there, and that's all it takes to get it into trouble. So we'll need a new spring and whatever else we find. Okay, so I said on the top that it looked like one of those pulleys was a little bit crooked, the whole thing, and I just found out why. There's a piece of bark in there. There is a giant crack, so that whole thing is tipping backwards and up. So I'll have to do some welding, and I think John Deere makes a repair flange for just this kind of issue. I'll see which way we go once I get all that grass off of there and get a good look at it. Also, things like this, that's really bent in the downward position, so I'll just take a wrench, pull that up a little bit, straighten stuff out a little bit. Looks like this is probably bashed backwards a little. I'll see if I can get that to move back a little. Just kind of straighten it all up. Okay, so just to get started here, looking at the bottom of the deck, they are John Deere original blades. At least that one, this one. Looks like this one's been changed out maybe. But I got a little bit of play there. Try to show that. A little bit of play there. Maybe even down there if you can see that rocking. This one's not bad at all. This one you can't see it right now. There you go. It's got some play too, so I'll probably just change all the bearings while I'm here. Now we can see a little better why that one pulley is sitting cockeyed, because that metal there is all ripped through, and that nut is down probably a 1/4 inch from where it's supposed to be. So obviously it wasn't cutting probably as flat as you would like. So I will have to pound that back. That looks weldable. It's not like the metal's so bad that I need those repair collars that you can get. You can get a collar that goes around here and it's just metal and you can sandwich it, but I don't think it's that bad, but once I take it off I'll be able to see better underneath where the spindle's mounted. But I'll just take them all out and rebuild them. Okay, got all the spindles out. Some people call them mandrels. And then I'll just take off the idler pulley there and the spring for it. Okay, in the box of stuff I got with this, I had these wheels, and we do have some brackets, which is awesome because it's missing the one on there completely. So we got a good start. A lot of these have just the regular cotter keys. I like to put a pin there. So I'm going to take them all out and make them all right. Okay, so I've got to start on everything I wanted to put on here. I've got 4 pins, 4 clips, all the same, and then I got 2 wheel assemblies set up. This one's a little rough. It's been rubbing on something, but the diameter is good, so I'm gonna leave it. So I just need to get 2 complete wheel assemblies with the axles. It comes with the, for those that don't know, the bolt is supposed to be tight. There's an inside metal piece that goes across. This is supposed to roll on the inside metal piece. That shaft, that axle, that bolt becomes an axle, and everything is supposed to spin on it. So the kit comes with all that stuff. John Deere is pretty good about that. So I need 2 complete kits, and I've got all the pieces here. So luckily, and I even have at least 2 spares out of the box of parts, so that's always good. This one's a little worn, so I decided not to use that one, and this one had a little wear, so I took the 4 best ones. Alright, we're on the underside of the deck, so we can see there's all the way from here to there's a tear in that metal. Probably the blade got a hold of something. I was able to pound it back fairly easily, and one of these was also pounded out of whack. So I'm gonna take and weld that all in at some point, and then this is whacked down. And the other thing I see is at one time the deck, it was hitting here. This part must have folded back in, so it's not just the corner here. That whole piece has to come out a little bit. Something like that. Had to get out the 5-pound or 10-pound, whatever that sledgehammer is for that one. I've got to get this curve way back out where it belongs now. And I just noticed why that curve is bent in as far as it is because the metal is absolutely ripped almost completely through. So that'll take some welding too. Okay, I got this to open up like it needed to, and then I rolled the edge slightly because that's the way the factory does it. Gives it a little more strength, and it had kind of straightened out. I had the hammer a little bit in, a little bit out, and of course, while I was at it, this piece busted completely off because that's all it had holding it. Literally was that little shiny part. Not even all of that. So I'm going to weld this. I don't have an example to look at, but I'm going to weld this so this is in line with the rest of the deck. I can't imagine they'd ever go past that part of the deck. Also, I see a little crack here. I'll weld that along with the rest. That crack is right here from top to bottom, so that's snapped too. And while I was getting ready with the welder, getting ready to go get the welder, I noticed that this whole piece, this is the gauge wheel mount. That whole piece is split on this side and all the way down that side, so I'll have to weld that also. Okay, I got the bracket on the side, the ripped out part on the deck, where it mounts, the clamp there. You can see the curved, I'm not going to touch it right now, the curved part's put back on, and the little crack across the deck there. Everything I know about has been fixed.